Hello and welcome to Harmony Hall, a sacred space for all. As we gather in peace, we will grow in our beliefs and let our spirits breathe. As we gently explore the many faiths and religions that shape our spiritual world. Harmony Hall is a place of respect, reflection, and spiritual curiosity. And today we return to ancient Mesopotamia to explore the Akkadian religion. The Akkadian religion is one of the world's earliest organized faiths. The Akkadians blended the traditions of Sumerians with their own, shaping prayers, myths, and rituals that will echo across history. Today, around the campfire, we will talk about these ancient stories from the Akkadian religion, and how these stories continue to echo through history, shaping other religions to come. Thank you for being here today, and for choosing Harmony Hall to help you on your spiritual walk to self-discovery.
Imagine a land between two great rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates, Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. Here, fertile soil and flowing water gave rise to humanity's earliest cities, where people first learned to harness the power of nature and build lasting communities. Over 4,000 years ago, the Akkadians emerged from the north, ambitious and organized, destined to build the world's first empire. Their rise was not just a story of conquest, but of innovation, as they developed new ways to govern and unite diverse peoples. Before the Akkadians, Mesopotamia was a patchwork of city-states, each fiercely independent, ruled by its own king and devoted to its own gods. Rivalries and alliances shifted constantly, shaping the destiny of the land. Sargon of Akkad changed everything. Through military genius and political strategy, he united these cities under one banner, forging an empire that stretched from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea, forever altering the course of history. This unification transformed the region's religious landscape, blending Akkadian and Sumerian traditions into a complex spiritual tapestry. Temples became centers of both worship and administration, reflecting the new order. The Devine was ever present for the Akkadians, woven into their laws, art, and understanding of the cosmos. Every aspect of daily life was touched by the presence of the gods, from the smallest household ritual to the grandest royal decree. To understand them is to understand their gods. Faith shaped every aspect of their world. Their myths and rituals offered meaning, comfort, and a sense of order in a vast and unpredictable universe. We'll meet their most powerful deities, from Anu to Ishtar, and explore the stories that explained creation and the struggle between order and chaos. These tales reveal the hopes and fears of an ancient people. Akkadian kings were seen as chosen intermediaries between mortals and the divine, responsible for maintaining harmony between the heavens and the earth. Their beliefs echo through history, influencing the great religions that followed. The legacy of Akkadian faith can still be traced in the myths and rituals of later civilizations. This is the story of how faith helped build the world's first empire, and how the echoes of that faith still shape our world today. The Akkadian pantheon was a grand assembly of powerful deities, each ruling over a part of nature and human life. These gods were not distant myths, but living presences woven into the fabric of daily existence, shaping the world and the destinies of all who lived within it. At the top was Anu, god of the heavens, the ultimate source of authority, distant, revered, rarely interfering with mortals. His presence was felt in the endless sky above, a reminder of order and cosmic law. His son Enlil, god of wind and storms, was active and volatile, holding the tablet of destinies and enforcing divine will. Enlil's moods could bring both prosperity and disaster, making him both respected and feared. Enlil's temple at Nippur was a major religious center, where people sought his favor and feared his wrath. Pilgrims traveled from distant lands to offer prayers and gifts, hoping to win his blessing. Enki, or Ea, was the god of wisdom, magic, and fresh waters, protector of humanity and patron of artisans and scholars. He was known for his cleverness, his ability to solve problems, and his deep compassion for mortals. He famously saved mankind from a great flood, embodying creative intelligence and compassion. Enki's stories inspired hope, teaching that wisdom and kindness could overcome even the greatest dangers. Ishtar, or Inanna, was the goddess of both love and war, passionate, independent, and worshipped across the empire. Her dual nature made her both a bringer of life and a force of destruction. As goddess of love, she ruled over fertility and desire, As goddess of war, she reveled in battle's chaos. Her followers celebrated her with festivals, music, and rituals that honored both her nurturing and fierce aspects. Ishtar's temples were vibrant centers of religious life, reflecting her complex, untamable nature. These sacred spaces echoed with prayers, songs, and offerings, drawing people from all walks of life. These gods shaped every aspect of Akkadian life, from daily rituals to imperial ambitions. Their influence was seen in law, art, and the rhythms of the seasons, guiding the people through both peace and turmoil. Their stories and personalities reflected the unpredictable world the Akkadians inhabited. Through myth and legend, the gods offered explanations for fortune and misfortune alike. Through worship, the Akkadians sought to balance these divine forces and secure their place in the cosmos. Rituals and ceremonies were essential, forging a link between mortals and the divine. The pantheon's legacy would endure for millennia, echoing through history as a testament to the enduring power of faith and imagination. Sargon's rise was not just political, it was a religious revolution. He claimed divine mandate, presenting himself as the gods' chosen shepherd, especially favored by Enlil. This fusion of kingship and priesthood made the king the chief intermediary between mortals and gods. The king's piety was believed to ensure the empire's prosperity and stability. Sargon's grandson, Naram-Sin, took it further, declaring himself a living god and depicting himself as divine in art. This bold move placed the king beyond mortal challenge, but later generations saw it as hubris. Some blamed the empire's fall on Naram-Sin's arrogance, suggesting it angered the gods. Whether or not he was truly seen as a god, the idea of divine kingship shaped Mesopotamian rule for centuries. The king's relationship with the gods became the foundation of imperial authority. Enheduanna, Sargon's daughter, became high priestess of the moon god Nana in Ur, a political and religious masterstroke. She was the world's first known author, composing hymns that blended Sumerian and Akkadian traditions. Her poems, especially to Ishtar, redefined the goddess's power and united the empire's faith. Enheduanna's writings shaped Akkadian theology, elevating Ishtar and providing a divine counterpart to the king's might. Her work helped forge a shared religious identity across the empire. Her hymns were studied for centuries, influencing later Babylonian and Assyrian traditions. Enheduanna's legacy endures as a testament to the power of words and faith. The Akkadians told sacred stories to explain the cosmos and humanity's place within it. Central to their mythology was the struggle between order and chaos, with gods battling primordial forces. The Great Flood myth, adapted from Sumerian sources, reflected anxieties about divine wrath and human vulnerability. Enlil, angered by humanity's noise, sent a flood, but Ea secretly warned a righteous man to build a boat and save life. This tale taught the importance of piety and the hope that wisdom could bring salvation. These myths established a cosmic hierarchy and justified the roles of kings and priests as mediators. Human life was seen as precious yet precarious, saved from chaos by divine favor. Such stories became the foundation of Mesopotamian religious belief. For the Akkadians, religion was a daily practice, a constant dialogue with the divine. Temples were the gods' earthly homes, with priests caring for sacred statues as if they were living beings. Rituals included waking, washing, dressing, and feeding the deity's image, believed to ensure the god's presence and favor. Festivals like the New Year's Akitu involved the whole community and reaffirmed divine order. The statues' public processions allowed people to receive blessings and witness their god. Divination was central. Specialists interpreted omens from animal livers, oil, and stars to discern the god's will. Kings and commoners alike sought divine guidance before major decisions. These practices were seen as essential, not superstitious, maintaining harmony between mortals and gods. Through ritual and divination, the Akkadians believed they could secure prosperity and avert disaster. The Akkadian religion emerged from the deep and vibrant traditions of the Sumerians, inheriting a rich spiritual legacy that had flourished for centuries in southern Mesopotamia. When Sargon of Akkad conquered Sumer, he set in motion a remarkable process of religious fusion, blending Sumerian gods and rituals with those of the Akkadians to create a new, shared spiritual landscape. This syncretism unified the vast empire, allowing conquered peoples to retain their familiar deities, but now within a broader imperial framework that encouraged cooperation and cultural exchange. Deities such as Inanna and Ishtar, or Enki and Ea, were merged and reimagined, resulting in more complex and powerful gods that reflected the multicultural nature of the empire. The Akkadians not only adopted Sumerian myths, but also adapted them, placing greater emphasis on kingship and the divine right to rule, which helped legitimize their expanding empire. Through this blending, a standardized religious canon emerged, with Sumerian ideas and stories preserved in Akkadian language and form, ensuring their survival for generations. The syncretic religious system became a model for later empires, fostering not only political stability, but also a sense of shared identity among diverse peoples. Sumerian and Akkadian names and traditions were used side by side, breaking down old regional barriers and encouraging unity across the empire. The result was a resilient and adaptable religious system that endured long after the fall of Akkad, influencing countless generations. Ultimately, this fusion of beliefs laid the enduring foundation for all later Mesopotamian religions, shaping the spiritual landscape of the ancient Near East. The Akkadian Empire eventually fell, weakened by internal strife, rebellion, and invasions by the Gutians. The concept of the deified king faded with the empire's collapse. Later generations saw Akkad's fall as divine punishment for Naram-Sin's arrogance, especially his attack on Enlil's temple. The story of the curse of Akkad became a cautionary tale about royal hubris and the need for piety. The king's duty to serve the gods and respect sacred spaces became central to Mesopotamian thought. After Akkad, city-states re-emerged, and Sumerian culture experienced a renaissance. The Akkadian language persisted, but the specific state cult vanished. However, the syncretic religion endured, forming the bedrock for Babylonian and Assyrian civilizations. Akkad's political power faded, but its religious legacy remained. The empire's spiritual innovations shaped Mesopotamia for millennia. The Akkadian Empire's religious legacy shaped the ancient world long after its fall. Its syncretic pantheon became standard across Mesopotamia, inherited by Babylonians and Assyrians. Akkadian myths and epics like Gilgamesh and Atrahasis became literary classics influencing neighboring cultures. Parallels between Akkadian flood stories and the biblical tale of Noah reveal their far-reaching impact. Studying Akkadian religion uncovers the roots of many Western and Middle Eastern beliefs. Concepts of divine order, law, and the struggle between chaos and civilization all trace back to Akkad. The Akkadians built not just an empire of land, but an empire of ideas. Their spiritual legacy still echoes in the stories and questions of today.
Thank you for joining me today on this sacred walk through time. Here in Harmony Hall, we gather in peace, grow in our beliefs, and let our spirits breathe, as we gently explore the many faiths and religions that shape our spiritual world. Join us next time, as we continue this journey of wonder, wisdom, and reflection, because here in Harmony Hall, all religions are welcomed and every voice is heard.